Let's see what type of music we can make. Let's see what type of music we can make. Let's see what type of music we can make. Using Street Fighter. Using Michael Jackson. Using Mario. Welcome to Season 7 of SJ's Sonic Brews. Let's make some sounds. Let's see what type of music we can make. Using Minecraft. Let's import the Minecraft damage sound. There's a pitch here. There's a couple things I want to do. Now it's tuned. Let's make the D last longer. Now it sounds like this. Let's have it fade out. Let's cut off the high end. Let's export the file. Thank you all for the continued support in this series. This is episode 61. And also, thank you guys for 20,000 followers on Instagram. Let's crop the file and set the root key to D. Let's run this through an amp. It's a bass. Of course it's going through an amp. Let's add some reverb. Now I got a bass. Let's see what type of music we can make. Using Mario. Let's import the Yahoo. The tuned Mario sounds like this. Let's stretch out the Who so it sounds like this. Let's crop the clip. Now all we have left is the stretched out Who sound. Let's export the file. Let's crop the file and let's set the root key to E. Let's add some distortion. Distortion plugins are quickly becoming my favorite. Let's run it through an amp. Let's add some reverb. Now we got an electric guitar. Let's see what type of music we can make using Ford. Let's import the Ford chime. Let's stretch out the pitch and fade it out, so now it sounds like this. Let's export the file. Thank you guys for the continued support in this series. This is episode 63, and thank you all for 25,000 followers on Instagram. Let's crop the file and set the root key to A. Let's run it through an amp so it doesn't sound as muddy. Let's add some reverb. I'm not feeling this one. It sounded muffled and underwatery, and I didn't like that. Let's run this through a distortion plugin. Let's run it through an amp. Sounds like this. Let's change the amp switch from rock to lead. Now got an electric guitar. Let's see what type of music we can make using Elden Ring. Let's import the Elden Ring death sound. Our kick sound is going to sound like this. Let's add some low end to the kick. Let's export the file. Let's isolate the middle frequencies for our snare. Our hi-hat's going to sound like this. And now let's cut off the low end. It's really hard making a non-percussive sound percussive, but I'm doing the best I can. Let's set the kick to this note. Let's pitch the snare up and assign it to this note. Let's pitch up the hi-hat and assign it to this note. Let's add some reverb. And now our brush kit sounds like this. Let's see what type of music we can make using Street Fighter. Let's import the Street Fighter sound.
You win!
We're just going to use the ooh in the you phrase. It's going to sound like this when it's tuned.
You
Stretch the audio, now it sounds like this.
win!
Let's crop the file. Let's isolate the middle frequencies. Let's export the file. Thank you guys for the continued support in this series. This is episode 65. And drop in the comments, what was your favorite retro video game? Let's crop the file and set the root key to D. Let's play this sound 2 octaves below. Sounds like this. Let's run it through an amp so we can get a slightly brighter tone. Let's add some reverb. Now we can play Nirvana. Let's see what type of music we can make using Super Mario Bros. Let's import the Mario jump sound. Let's crop the file. There's a pitch, so that means we can tune it. If we tune this to one note, it sounds like this. Let's isolate the middle frequencies. Let's export the file. Let's crop the file and set the root key to A. Let's take this sound, play it 2 octaves lower, and we get this. Let's run it through a distortion plugin. Now it sounds like this. Let's run it through an amp. What preset do I want? Let's go British Clean 2. Now I can play Metallica. See what type of music we can make using Michael Jackson. Let's import the hee-hee. I can already tell that this episode is going to be a thriller. We're just going to use the second hee. It's going to sound like this. Let's tune out the vibrato. It's going to sound like this. Let's cut off some of the high end. Now let's export the file. You know, interesting fact, Michael Jackson actually owned a denim store. It was called Billie Jeans. Let's crop the file and set the root key to F. So if we take this note, 3 octaves down, sounds like this. Drop in the comments how many of y'all watch the clips today. My voice is way too low to be doing that. Let's add some distortion. Let's run it through an amp. Let's add some reverb. And now we can play Michael Jackson. Let's see what type of music we can make using Call of Duty. Let's import the zombie sound. We're just going to use the second grunt. It's going to sound like this. Let's try and cut off all the high end. Let's export the file. Let's crop the file and set the root key to G. So on the keyboard, it sounds like this. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd be trying to make an instrument out of a zombie. Let's run it through a distortion plugin just so we can try and change the timbre. It's already not a quote pretty sound anyway, so might as well. Let's run it through an amp. Now I got a distorted bass. Let's see what type of music we can make using the Wilhelm scream. Let's import the Wilhelm scream. I'm not seeing a pitch yet, so let's isolate the middle frequencies. Let's export the file. There's a tiny portion of this we can tune. Let's stretch out the tunable pitch. It now sounds like this. Let's crop the file and set the root key to F sharp. If I play it on the keyboard, it sounds like this. That slide at the end of the note would be perfect for a guitar. Let's run it through a distortion plugin, but this time let's use feedback instead of distortion. Let's run it through an amp and let's choose American Clean 6. Change the amp switch to lead. Let's add some reverb. Now I got an electric guitar. Let's see what type of music we can make using JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Let's import this sound. We're just going to use the bass drop for our first sound. It's going to sound like this. Our EQ curve is going to look like this. Let's export the file. The only thing I know about anime is that this is going to be a pretty cool 808 style kick. This will be our other sound. We're going to cut off the low end for this sound. And let's export that sound. Thank you guys for the continued support in this series. This is episode 70. And as usual, if you have a sound you want me to try and make music out of, let me know in the comments. Let's pitch down the boom and assign it to this note. Let's pitch down the scratch and assign it to this note. Drum kit sounds like this.